the day that's right around. Certainly it is my honor and privilege to greet you on this day of honor and recognition for the greatest students in the world, the honor students of Alabama State University. And we've come to say we are so very proud of you. We are proud of all of your accomplishments inside the classroom and outside the classroom. We are proud of your achievements. And we're grateful this morning for this opportunity to call your names and to salute you. We salute you today for studying hard, because Aristotle says the energy of the mind is the essence of life. We salute you today as honor students for making good choices, for surrounding yourself with good friends who push you and encourage you to do great things. We salute you today for doing the hard work and making the necessary sacrifices to get the work done. We salute you today for staying focused on your dreams and all of your goals for life, for never giving up and having a desire for success, because what you are pursuing is excellence. No matter your discipline, you are excellent. And I need you to get that in your spirit and your soul, that no matter where you go after you leave Alabama State University, that what you have done here is excellent. We salute you today because Aristotle also said we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. So develop the habit of being excellent. We salute you today for being role models and mentors for those who do look up to you. Jackson Brown said the best preparation for tomorrow is doing your best today. So today, we salute you for being great. We honor you for being excellent. And we know for each and every one of you, your best days are still yet to come.
This is our premier academic event at this university. And it is my privilege to introduce to you a premier academic and education leader in Alabama, Dr. Jacqueline Brooks. Dr. Brooks is a resident of Tuskegee, Alabama, and completed her K-12 education in Macon County Schools. She graduated from South Macon High School, was high school valedictorian, came to Alabama State on a presidential scholarship. She graduated magna cum laude and obtained employment at the Brevard County Schools in Viera, Florida, with a student enrollment of over 100,000 pupils. There she received several promotions. She served as Dean of Students, Ropes Curriculum Director, Assistant Principal, and Ropes Site Principal. She also served as Regional Director for the Florida Council of Teachers of English for several years. She returned to work in Alabama in 1998 after the untimely death of her mother, and was employed by Chambers County Schools in Valley, Alabama in 1998, followed by Macon County Board of Education, where she is, at this present time, the superintendent of schools in that district. She has represented Macon County Schools as a faculty person, as a guest speaker for the National Science Foundation at the Smithsonian in 2002, and the Jimmy Carter Center in 2003 as part of the Alabama Laser Science Initiative. This educator, in her leadership role in the Macon County District, has been chosen as the District Principal of the Year 1999 and 2000. She has authored or contributed to a number of grants, most recently a $49 million Gear Up grant to reduce dropouts in the Black Belt counties, and a multi-million-dollar Apple Connect ED grant that placed laptops and iPads in the hands of Macon County students and staff. She has worked with Alabama State in various capacities, as well as with several other universities, and has been the spark for a renewed dual education program here at Alabama State. She's a member of Sweet Baptist Church, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, the Tuskegee Macon County chapter of the NAACP, and is married to her high school sweetheart, Terry Brooks, former Alabama State University basketball team captain, 1988 and 89 SWAC Player of the Year. They have been married for 26 years and have one 9-year-old daughter, Cassidy, and their 2-year-old son, Nixon. It is my pleasure and privilege to present to you the one who likes this quote, "When and where a bird can sow, let it do so, and help it to do so." Her mantra, the power of one. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, students, proud alumna of Alabama State University, Dr. Jackie Brooks.
Climb upward till your dreams come true. Often your task will be many and more than each of you think you can do. Often the road will be rugged and the hills may seem insurmountable too. But always remember, the hills ahead, as steep as they may seem, and with faith in your heart, start upward and climb upward till you reach your dream. For nothing in life that is worthy is ever too hard to achieve. If you have the courage to try it, and you have the faith to believe. For faith is a force that is greater than knowledge or power or skill. And many defeats turn to triumph if you trust in God's wisdom and His will. For faith is a mover of mountains. There is nothing that God cannot do. in your heart, and climb upward, honorees, until your dreams come true. Helen Steiner writes. To our honorees this morning, who are the reason we are all gathered here today, our Board of Trustees, our illustrious, intelligent, and inspirational University President, Dr. Boyd, her leadership team and administrative staff, the great faculty of this university, other staff, and the rest of the student body, I bring you greetings and say, good morning. As I thought about our purpose for being here today, I thought, what could I say? What could I share with these honorees? Many whom happen to be some of my students from the Macon County school system who are duly enrolled as college and high school students here. I thought about telling you about my life stories in the dormitory, starting off with Bibb Graves. And Bibb Graves is still here. I saw that it has had all these renovations, so I said, well, I won't spend time telling you about how we missed some nights studying for tests because we thought it was haunted. I thought I would tell you about the long cafeteria lines where at the time it did not matter what your choice was to eat. You ate what you were given. But I realized that you now have a fancy cafeteria, which used to be our gymnasium. And then I thought about telling you about these other long lines that were called the refund check line, where you stood for hours and hours and hours and maybe even days trying to get your $5.25 back each semester for your spending change. But then now I see that you guys have a brand new fancy student union with restaurants and game rooms and a place with teller windows like banks. So I said I don't need to talk about that. And then I thought about talking about how to balance your social life and your love life, which I had to do because my current husband Terry, who played basketball here, was also a student here. So that was a challenge, but you guys have Facebook and Snapchat and all of those things, so you know how to balance social life very well. So I decided I would not talk about any of those topics, but I would share a story with you. And this particular story is about a young woman. And the year is 1967 now, so you know it wasn't me. I'm not quite that old yet. But it was 1967, and this young girl was a senior in high school. She was 18. And she had gotten to the point where she was starting to let her mom, have her mom let her go get her hair done. Back at that time, they were wearing the updos and the haircuts, and so she would go to the hairdresser, and she told her mom that she wanted to get her eyebrows arched like the rest of the girls, and that she needed to go to the barber shop to get that done. So her mother agreed, and she started going to get her hair done, and she would go every 2 weeks or so to get her eyebrows arched. And there, the barbershop owner was probably about a 40-year-old man, and he was married and had a family of his own and children. And so each week as she went and they kind of swapped jokes and stories with each other, they ended up developing a little relationship that was not supported by the young woman's parents, of course, because she was a high school student, unmarried. And her folks wanted her to graduate from high school and go to college somewhere. And of course, I'm sure his wife and children probably did not know about the relationship. But there it ensued, and several months later, the young girl found herself pregnant with a child. And so her parents were very, very upset. Luckily, the man was not killed or run out of town. But the mother made it emphatically clear to her daughter that she was not going to take the child, raise the child, or help her with the child. That she and the barber, the married man, would have to get this thing figured out. and find some foster care or somewhere for this baby, this out of wedlock child to go. And so the barber found an elderly lady in South Alabama who said she was willing to take the child. The lady was on a fixed income herself and was nearing 80 years of age and really wasn't a suitable and fitting environment for a young child, but nevertheless, this is where the baby was going to be slated to go. So in February of 1968, the baby was born and was going to be ready to go live with this elderly lady in South Alabama. But you know, sometimes God has a plan, and He can move hearts. And so He stepped in and moved the young lady's mother's heart, the grandmother of the child. And the grandmother had a change of heart and said, I will take the child and raise the child as my own. And she and her husband did that. And the husband of the grandmother ended up dying when the child was about 4. And so the child and the grandmother ended up on a fixed income themselves. The granddaddy had been in the military, served in World War II, and ended up leaving about $380 a month in pension for the grandmother and the child to live on. And so the grandmother did the very best she could. She was not an educated woman. She had gone only to 8th grade because at that time you couldn't just go to school. You had things that had to be done for the economic benefit of your family. She had to pick cotton when she was a child. She had to draw water when she was a child. She had to chop wood when she was a child. So she didn't have those opportunities to go on to middle school and high school. But she learned to read, that grandmother did, when she was in school through 8th grade, and read very well. And she instilled that in that granddaughter that she was raising. And so that granddaughter was able to matriculate all through school with the support of her teachers and peers because the community had such a value on education. And the grandmother looked at the grandchild as her senior year approached and said, we're not going to have the money to send you on to college. I really want you to go, but we just can't afford it. And the granddaughter had been in several programs at a local university there in the community, but it was a semi-private institution. And when I say tuition was expensive, it was very expensive. And so the child knew that was out of reach for her. And one day, there was a field trip form that said students could sign up with Talent Search and go and visit a university where the granddaughter had never been before, even though it was in a nearby city, nearby capital city, in a place called Montgomery, Alabama. And the granddaughter and her friends went down to this beautiful campus, much larger than the one that had been there at the semi-private institution. And they were pretty impressed with that university. But of course, the granddaughter still knew in the back of her head that tuition would not be affordable by her grandmother. So the advisor who was there with the Talent Search group, the advisor from the university, asked each of the students, what are your GPAs? What are your ACT scores? And the granddaughter went on to tell her. And she stepped back a minute. She said, are you sure? Do you have a 3.8? Do you have a 26 on the ACT? Back then, you could only make a 31. And the granddaughter said, yes. And she said, in fact, I have my papers in my pocketbook. That's what her grandmother had taught her to call a purse. She said, I have my papers in my pocketbook. And she showed them to the advisor. And the advisor said, hold on a few moments. I'll be right back. And after about 30 minutes, really the students, the granddaughter and all, thought the advisor had gotten lost, that she wasn't coming back. But she returned, and she returned with a gentleman who was one of the vice presidents at that university. And they took the granddaughter aside and said, do you realize that you qualify for our highest scholarship that we have on campus? And the granddaughter said, no ma'am, no sir. And they said, well, you do. It's called the Presidential Scholarship. And if you have a certain GPA, and you have a certain ACT score, you qualify for it. And the granddaughter was trying to process just what this meant. And she said, you will be coming to Alabama State University. You will wear black and gold. You will be an Alabama State University Hornet. The granddaughter began to sob and weep. And the lady said, what's wrong? And she was so emotional and she was so happy because she said, I never thought I would really have the opportunity to go to college. And now I do. As you may have guessed, the granddaughter in that story is me. My grandmother raised me with a true love and value for education. But as with too many families in this country, we did not know how we were going to further that opportunity. Climb upward until you reach your dream. Alabama State University changed the narrative in my life. And I know for many people in this audience and these honorees, Alabama State University changed the narrative in your life. Alabama State University, in the words of our president, the land of opportunity. Opportunity is here. And these young people today have taken advantage of that opportunity. I want to share a couple of more things about this story. And one is that Alabama State University is a network of resources. And so to these honorees here today, I want you to know that you do have a nicely renovated cafeteria and a new student union and better and improved dorms, and things will and are continuing to improve at this university. But I want you to know about a place that was near and dear to me when I was here. And back then we called it the Career Placement Office. And I looked online and I see it has a new name, the Hornet Career Services Center. But it has the same mission, just a new tootsied up and fancy name. And the intent and integrity of that department is to help you, who are honorees, make sure you're on the career paths for the futures that you want to have, so that you can climb upward until you reach your dream. This particular office holds job fairs. They help you with resumes. They let you know what the latest and current job opportunities are. So if you're not signed up, sign up today. You can do it on your iPhone. You can do it on your Droid. You can do it on your tablet. But get signed up today, because I was notified in 1990, much around this same time, few weeks before graduation, that a job fair was being held here at Alabama State. Bring your resume and bring your transcript. And for folks like you, folks who are in your shoes, who are graduating seniors, you can sign signing bonuses, you can get moving expenses paid. The hard work you put in will pay dividends for you for days and years to come. And we are proud of you for doing that. But one other thing I want to share with you, and it's a little troubling for me to tell you, actually. And that is that when I got my great job, which was because of this university that changed the narrative in my life, it was in a very well-to-do, largely non-minority community. And even though I had graduated magna cum laude, as many of you will, or summa cum laude, sometimes you still don't think you're quite good enough. You still go with a little bit of an inferiority complex. And I want to encourage you to know that you are good enough. You are great enough. You are wonderful. And so when I got to this town, this wealthy place, this upscale neighborhood, And the people would ask me, where did you go to college? I betrayed my university. I said, oh, I went to a school in Alabama, leading people to think maybe University of Alabama, maybe Auburn, maybe Troy. But I didn't emphatically stand on the proudness of my institution like I do now and say I went to, as our SGA president said, the Alabama State University. I didn't do that. I was reluctant because I thought people would look down on me. I thought my education was not good enough. But let me tell you what I found. I found that I was working with people who were teachers just like me. And they had degrees from Florida State, University of Florida, University of Miami, Harvard, and they were teachers just like me. But even more than that, after that first year of teaching, I won an award for being the new teacher of the year in my school. But more than that, I had to tutor some of those folks with degrees from other places. More than that, we had an exam. It wasn't called the praxis back then. It was called the National Teachers Examination, the NTE. And I passed it on the first time I took it. And I had folks from Florida State and some of these other places, nothing against Florida State people, and these other places who had to take it more than once. And I had to help them through their study material. And I'm not a profane person, but I said, damn, what school did they go to now? And it was then at that very moment that I learned my school song all over again. I ordered online from the bookstore every Alabama State shirt I could find. My husband and I had matching warm-up suits when we came to the game. We didn't miss a homecoming from then on because the education you get from Alabama State University is second to none. Second to none. Be proud of what you gained and know that you can use it to go all over this world. If you don't believe me, look at our president. Has been all over the world with her education from the Alabama State University. And so today, I join all of these people who have come to see you from all across this campus, this city, this state, and this nation, to include your parents, your grandparents, your family, your friends, your faculty, and peers, to mark this incredible day of recognition in your life as Alabama State University recognizes you for your accomplishments and the upwardness that you exhibit. I call it class, and not class as in the classroom, but C-L-A-S, all capitalized. C, because these folks sitting in front of us have nothing but character. It takes character not to stay with the crowd and to do your work and to do well on your assessments. Leadership, because it takes a leader to do what is in the best interest of him or herself and for others. Achievement, when you walk in and you have 3 5s and 4.0s, achievement you wear proudly. And service, always remember to give back to those who have given to you, including this university. After Bruce Lee said, knowledge will give you power, but character will give you respect. John Quincy Adams, the 6th President of the United States of America, said if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, and do more, then indeed you honorees are leaders. Sir Isaac Rubin explained, happiness does not come from doing easy work, but from the afterglow of satisfaction that comes after the achievement of a difficult task that demanded your best. And indeed, you are giving your best. And the late Gandhi said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in service. It is my challenge, our challenge to you, from all of us as alumni, all of Alabama State University, your achievement, and service. Ladies and gentlemen, stand on your feet and let us give these young people, these honorees, these Alabama State University students, a rousing, roaring round of applause. And because we're all proud of our university, we want everybody to stand up and let us do our famous, students included, let us all stand up and let us hear it and not be afraid to explain it. Where are my cheerleaders? I know Chelsea Rock is here. Always be proud of your university. Put your ASU badge of honor on, wear it proudly, and congratulations, honorees.